training objectives for today are to learn the community portal login and features and what that looks like. We've made enhancements to the layout and the design of the screen for each module. So we'll discuss those. We'll dive in a little deeper to understanding the DGS modules and how to navigate through each screen. And then we'll do some light walkthroughs of the compliance, grants, and certification modules. Last but definitely not least, we want to ensure you all are supported and know how to submit tickets in order to be assisted with whatever issues or challenges you're having with the system. Almost forgot to start recording. Oh, it's recording. Thanks, somebody from my team. Okay, first, let's just go over on a high level what the DES system is. For those of you who may be new to the DES system is our one-stop shop for all things DES. If you are a CBE or are trying to become a CBE, you can apply for that certification via the DES system. If you are looking for grants or have grants, you will be able to apply for those grants, check the status or progress of any grant applications, and complete any reporting and monitoring activities related to those grants. If you are a developer or have received a CBE or a prime contractor who's received a contract from a district agency or independent agency, you will be able to monitor and report on any of those activities via the DES system for compliance. Next screen. The community portal is our single sign-on access to all modules. Previously, if you had a profile in DES for certification, you would have to log in through the certification portal. If you were submitting subcontracting plans or quarterly reports for compliance, you would have to submit through the compliance portal, and the same goes for grants. So one thing I want to assure you is the way to sign on now is any profile you've used in the past, you'll be able to sign on with that profile. In the event you are not clear or sure on which profile you use, you could submit a ticket to DES and we'll provide you with the login information. One thing I want to note, which is very important, if you have a profile in which you have not signed on in 12 months, it is very important you reach out to the support team and let them know, because from Monday, when the system goes live, to the next 365 days, if a profile is not logged in, it will be deactivated. And then we'll go into the steps of how to get your account reactivated. So again, the last tab in green, accounts unused for 12 months, will be deactivated. This PPD stands. Okay, great question. PPD stands for Public-Private Development Contracts. I'm sorry, I was trying to, I was in the chat. Stands for Public-Private Development Contracts. So those are contracts where the city does business with a large developer, and that's a specific process outside of contracts where the developer goes in, submits information, it gets reviewed by a legal team, and then the project itself is kicked off. All right, before I go on, are there any questions in the chat? I just saw one, so I think we're safe to move on. Okay, now we'll go in a little bit to each module. So the compliance and contract and PPD module is where all developers would enter PPD information. Anybody who has an agency contract would enter the project details. They would submit quarterly reports, subcontracting plans. It's a place where there's centralized reporting. So as a developer or a prime contractor, you could see all of the contracts or activity related to any projects you're working on in one place. Previously, this used to happen in the quick-based system and via email, so there was a lot of back and forth. So now any entity can see the life of any business they're doing with the district related to contracts or public-private development projects in one place. The same for the grants portal. It's a unified grant application portal. You could track applications, upload pre-award documents and budget, track award status and deliverables. Some of the benefits and enhancements we've made to the DES system is we're trying to reduce the number of documents you have to upload. Let's say pretty much everybody on this call would need to upload a clean hand certificate or a basic business license. For basic business licenses, we've worked with the Department of Consumer Licenses and Protection to be able to pull that information in from their system. So by the time this launches, you should no longer need to upload basic business license. And for grants, similar to how it worked for the compliance functionality, you'll be able to see every grant you applied for, every grant opportunity, the status of any application, and the reporting and monitoring of any awards you have received. Okay, certification module. This is where, again, you'll be able to apply or renew certification, complete desk reviews, make changes or updates to your certified business profiles, as well as review the status and updates of those profiles. Okay, now we're going to go on to submitting a case, right? This part is critically important because it allows the IT team or any specific specialist to help better support you. One thing we've noticed when people submit cases, they don't provide relevant details. So some things you want to consider when submitting a case is you want to clearly explain what your issue is. If you're getting error messages, it would be extremely helpful to provide screenshots of those error messages, which will help the specialist or IT member better assist you. Also, in the submit case profile, you'll be able to track the status of your ticket. All right. So that's the end of the slides. Now we're going to go to the portal itself. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so the first page you'll see is if you do not have a CBE profile or a DES login profile. This is the registration page. You would go in, enter your first name, last name, email address, create a username, password, hit register. You're going to hear me reference the submit a case button all day. So it's on every page, right? So this is the page you'll receive if you are a new registrant and do not have a login at all. If you already have a DES account, you'll log in, you'll receive a link to log into this page, right? Again, you would just enter your username, password, login. As of right now, you can use any username that you've had in the past. I know there are some entities that enter information on behalf of businesses. All of those profiles should currently work. You want to ensure that that username is linked to the business profiles that you work with. If not, please be sure to contact our IT support team. Charlie, I can't see the questions if there's any that came up, so forgive me. Okay, so again, What we recommend is come Monday the 21st, everybody in the DES system will receive an email for those who already have accounts asking you to update the link information to use the new link. The old link that you previously logged in with will be deactivated. So we'll provide after this call some steps and in that email to allow for a smooth transition to using the new link. You want to remove any cache settings you have and ensure you're not using the new link. Okay, so now this is for an individual who already has an account. I'm just going to go to the next screen as if I signed in with that user profile. So this is the screen you'll see once you sign in. I'll start with the CBE Enterprise Portal. So if you are a CBE and have a registered profile and have to either update information to your CBE profile, put in a change request for whatever reason, you would click here. It would take you to the certification portal. It just demonstrates everything related to the certification portal, what the certification does, and any information related to certification. So I'm going to go to the top. You have 3 bullets: certification, contracts for subcontractors, projects for subcontractors. I'm going to click on certification, and this is going to take me to the same certification page you've seen previously, where I could either start a certification, enter change requests, or if I have a desk review pending. If I am a subcontractor on a contract, a DC government contract, I would go to this page to validate or verify any payment details, payment lines, and again, the famous submit a case button, right? On every profile page, it would list any cases you already have pending and the status of those cases. The same if I'm working on a PPD project, I would go in to PPDs and be able to validate any payments on an equity and development project. If I wanted to return home to the certification page, I'm sorry, let me go back here. If I wanted to return home on the certification page, I would just hit home. This would take me back to certification. If I wanted to return to see all 3 portals again, I would click CBE Home. Any questions? Looks good. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the grants portal. The same for the grants. You have 5 tabs. I can click grant opportunities. I would click grant application if there's a new application I want to submit. Here are all of the open opportunities for any new grant. So imagine CBE Green is a new grant. I would click into it and it would take me to grant applications. Again, if I want to go back to the grants homepage only, I just click home and it takes me back here. I can go to my applications to look at any applications I submitted. Same for the grant records. Any grants that I do have would all be listed here. If I'm looking at grant requirements, I would go to the grant requirement page. If any of the individuals on this call are fortunate enough to be on our grant review panel, all of the grant review information would be here if I'm assigned any grant applications to review. The organization button just lists all of the items related to your organization. If you're a grant organization and you have multiple grants, all of those items will be listed here, all of the files, all of the contact individuals. And again, if I wanted to go back to the main homepage, I would click CBE Grants Compliance Portal Home. Last but not least, compliance. If I am a prime contractor and I have active contracts, all of my active contracts would be listed here. If I needed to look at historical documentation related to grants, to contracts, all of my closed contracts would be here. A point of note, right? If you receive this message, contracts information is not available for your business, please contact your compliance specialist. That means one or two things. Either you do not have any current active contracts, or the contract was sent over by OCP and we have not linked your business profile to that contract as of yet. So we'll go into that a little deeper later on. Now moving on to active PPD projects, the same. Here's an active PPD project. You can view the project profile, manage phase projects, and when quarterly reporting is due, there'll be a tab that says enter quarterly reports. Same for historical projects. If you have any closed projects, you can click here and all of your closed projects would be here. As I stated before, if at any point you have any challenges or issues, you could submit a case, and a list of your cases will be here. Okay. With that, we'll open it up for the Q&A portion. So if you could kindly put your questions in the chat. Okay, I see them now. For quarterly reports, hold on, we start from the top. If entity is currently under renewal product process, will this transfer over? Yes. Yes, this will transfer over. Okay, for quarterly reports, will we be able to submit quarterly reports requirements from DSLBD? Georgie, yes. Yes, both contracts and PPD will be on your profile. What is the portal URL? And also, what is the support email if you haven't logged in? Oh, thank you, Praneeth, for answering that. Okay. That looks good to me. Let me just check the chat. Good morning. Is it possible to turn up the volume a bit, please? I'm taking notes and action items on auto record, simple calendar. Are CBEs able to see if a non-CBE is utilizing their CBE? Diana Ross, are CBEs able to see if a non-CBE is utilizing their CBE number? Diana Ross, I'm not sure of that question, but we'll get back to you on that. Is there an intention? Hold on, I lost where I was. I have an existing profile, but I've never been able to complete the CBE process because when I started internal informed by my assistant, said it already exists customers and tickets and did not respond to the solution. How can we resolve? Alyssa Figueroa will get back to you on that, and kind of see what the issue was there. How do you associate your existing CBE certificate to the DES login? Forgive me if I mispronounced this name. Sekhar, if you submit a ticket and provide your business name and business profile number, we'll be able to let you know what the username is associated with that. Yes. Gavin, great question about VVFs. The next phase and rollout for VVFs is that will take place in the system as well. Courtney, if you could confirm that for me, that'll be great. I'm pretty sure that's part of the discussion. I want to say yes. VVFs are vendor verification forms. What's the best way to get in front of primes for subs work? I am new to the process and am in the process applying for subs. Matthew Allen, great question. You can reach out to our business development department and they'll discuss with you the best ways to get in front of primes. I think this was mentioned, so sorry if I missed it. Getting basic business license info to not have to upload PDF. Apparently, they're the same apply. So, Jack Mansky, the basic business license part is a lot easier than the OTR tax and revenue functionality. So we're still working through the OTR functionality. We hope to have something finalized in the next 3 months for sure. And again, our intention is to ensure you don't have to upload as many documents repetitively. Okay, I'm swinging back and forth between the chat and Q&A, so please forgive me. Quarterly reports, that was the last one. I think we answered everything in the Q&A. So let's give a couple more minutes for any questions in the chat. And then this will probably be over sooner than we thought. Okay, so this looks like there's one more question. Oh, thank you so much, Courtney. Are there forecasts for upcoming grants, or do we just look for grants on a regular basis? So great question, Katie. I'm sorry, Lohman, Katie Beth Lohman. There are forecasts, and as we issue grants, I would just ensure you're signed up with our DSLBD on our mailing list, so that way we could send out all grant opportunities, because we do send out all grant opportunities via email blast, and we'll ensure you and your organization receive those grant opportunities. Malik Smith, we'll send out the link to the new site probably Friday, because that's when the link will go live. How can you sign up for our mailing list? You can go to our website. Oh, thanks, Rosalia. Okay, we'll let a few more questions come in. And just want to kind of go over the next steps. So what'll happen is you all should receive the link when it goes live Friday or possibly over the weekend. We will have all hands on deck as it relates to IT support from both the DSLBD IT team as well as the various program areas. So if you have detailed questions about certification, grants, or compliance, we'll have humans available and ready to support you. We'll also have how-to and training guides available for you come Monday. So that way, whenever you click into the link, you can just click on a training guide and it'll walk you through the process. But we encourage you and implore you to actually reach out so we could better assist you. What I will do is If you're currently in the process, what I will do is I see there's a frequently asked question list we put together. I will put that in that link after this email. Um, because I see we asked some questions that I thought would come up, but we just want to provide you as much information as we possibly can. How long does it take from the time a new CBE application submission to approval? The certification division has 45 business days to I'm sorry, I don't know if it's Mr. or Miss, but Sabawale, forgive me if I mispronounce your name. They have 45 business days to provide a decision on that application. Um, and that's depending on if all of the documentation was submitted correctly. Please, Lindsay Rose, please explain if annual contract and forecast for the DC government will be listed on this site as well. Miss Lindsay Rose or Rose Lindsay, the forecast will not be listed on this site, but however, it will be listed on our Green Book website, which should be refreshed and go up new, I want to say probably sometime in December when the Green Book comes out. Um, okay. Lauren Fowler, for DC companies, the CBE approval process is 20 days, correct? Um, Lauren, the CBE process is 45 business days for approval. Um, okay, so how will you be able to see a list of CBE companies? If you go to our website, there's a CBE search. This is for Rosa Fuentes. There's a CBE search link that if you go to that link, oh, thank you, Courtney. You're awesome. Got the best team in the world. Oh, two people listed it. Let me go back to the Q&A. I think I have some new Q&A questions. Will we put quarter 4 reports in the portal or send to contract specialists? Georgie, that's a great question. It depends on, that's a good question. Georgie H, let me get back to you on that question. Will we put quarter 4 BVF reports in the portal or send? I want to say you'll probably send that to the contract specialist because we're closing out all of the previous projects or contracts and then starting any new like Q1 contracts and PPDs in the DES system. All right. Okay, so I'm just got to check one thing off. We talked about next steps. We talked about IT support. I will list the FAQs in this chat. Put that in. Um, and we should be good. So if there are no other questions, I want to thank everybody for their time. Hold on, there's questions. If we already have existing contracts on DES, we need to upload them into the DES. Lily Alvarado, that's a great question. You should not, if it's a new contract starting in a new fiscal year, while your application is under review. If it's a new contract, all of that, you will be responsible. Well, the team will upload all of that information. And if any existing contracts, we'll bring those over from our old system quickly, so you won't have to worry about that. Good. Thanks, Courtney. All right, let me add the FAQs into this chat now. All right, so if there are no other questions, I want to thank everybody for their time. And please feel free to reach out to us anytime. I'll send out more information because I think when we open up the office hours, the best way to reach us is actually through this chat, and then we'll reach out to you directly. No, Bridget, it's not me 4 hours. We were able to give you back 3 hours of your day. We trying to be efficient. Glenn Stevens, you should be able to just log back into this recording or this chat group to see the recording, and we'll be sure to send everybody, we'll send it out in the follow-up information since you were able to register for this course. All right, it's not letting me upload anything, but I'll get this uploaded. All right. Thank you all so much for your time. And we're here if you need us. So have a great day.